This is the Grow My Clinic podcast by Clinic Mastery, where we help you deliver amazing client experiences to grow your clinic. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Grow My Clinic podcast. My name is Jack O'Brien. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you sharing your earbuds, your earphones, your car stereo with us. We have a guest with us today. We love mixing up the style and tempo of these episodes, and I think you're really going to enjoy today's episode, and it might provoke some thought around how you run your clinic and what are the possibilities and potential for you to improve your clinic operations. Today I have with me Dallas Mayne, who is the founder and owner of BookLyfe.com, which is a practice management software quite unique to the space. So Dallas, welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's dive in. Firstly, Dallas, where is that accent from? Tell us about the accent.
Yeah, so I'm from Canada originally, but moved here 7 years ago looking for better weather and ended up meeting my wife shortly after, who's a psychologist.
Ah, super. So you're looking for weather. I could think of better places to go than Melbourne for good weather, but, we'll let that slide.
Yeah, I was unaware of, I didn't really do my research. So I got off the plane in winter in board shorts, flip-flops, and I thought the cold weather was the air-conditioned terminal. Didn't realize it was coming from outside the terminal at the airport. So bit of a surprise, but I love the city. So yeah.
It is a beautiful city, good coffee, and certainly not the wind chill factor that probably you were experiencing in Canada. But enough of our geography chatter. Tell us, what is your background? You mentioned your wife's a psychologist. Do you have a health background, tech background? What's the story?
So a long background of sales and tech sales in particular. And back in Canada, I was kind of a serial entrepreneur, you would call it. So there's a couple different companies that I had back there, but it was all in relation to the oil field. Knew I wanted to get into tech-related things, so wanted to move to a bigger city center, which is ultimately what brought me here, not just the weather. When I was doing sales for a company that did multi-channel communications for mainly the superannuation industry, that was when it really kind of piqued my interest when I was listening to my wife's stories about how clients don't show up for appointments and what that does to her business. And she's renting a room, so she's out of pocket some cash. So that's kind of where things started snowballing and looking into, well, how can we integrate, payments and bookings into her business? And that was kind of like the embryonic stages of life.
Yeah, right. That does make sense, because I know listeners stick around towards the back end. We'll talk about some of the features of Lyfe and around payments and batch processing, which is really exciting for the health space. But that fusion of your background in sales and superannuation means that then when it comes to helping clinic owners, you can bring those together. So tell us about Lyfe. And to be clear, listeners, this is Lyfe with a Y. Now, I'm sure you probably have to disclaim that every time you mention it, but it's Lyfe, BookLyfe.com. Tell us, Dallas, what is Lyfe?
Yep. So Lyfe is a PMS system, but we also have the consumer booking side of things for allowing your clients to book easily, quickly. It's very streamlined. We also bring in some elements of reporting and things like that. So it's kind of like a hybrid of about 3 different bits of software that you would normally pay, multiple subscription fees for. And we brought that into one package. And then we've integrated, high caps, Medicare, bulk billing, DVA, NDIS is in the pipeline, TAC is in the pipeline. So all of that. So it's like a great way to kind of navigate the public and private healthcare.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned a couple of functions of a practice management software. I think it's important to note that there's to my knowledge, no one size that fits all. No clinic can survive on just one software. And so you've picked and chosen a couple of elements to build into Lyfe and not others. Can you tell us what was your reasoning behind that?
Yeah, so we released our first, version of Lyfe last February, 2018. And since then, we've been out there, talking to clinic owners and getting feedback. We've also, worked quite closely with a large practice owner who's kind of shown us what the big businesses need, not just, the small, medium-sized ones. And that's really given us a lot of insight. So we kind of, I suppose we've tailored this directly from the needs that we've been hearing feedback.
I love it. So, I mean, we don't want this to be a shameless plug for Lyfe, but can you maybe compare, although it is, let's be clear, talk to us about some of those features around booking capacity for clients. What does the ability for clients to book online look like? What problems does it solve?
Right. So it's easy booking for your client. I guess our bread and butter, so to speak, is the payment process. So, the point of sale process. So the client will set up their credit card or their fund prior to the booking. So on the day, you can just one click, and it can be done through your mobile device as well. So it's really great for like mobile clinicians that might be on the road. So it's really that speed of the point of sale.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk through this. So you're saying that users can put in their credit card details and the clinic can have that stored in Lyfe. So the clinic can process payments whenever they need at the end of each appointment without needing to re-swipe cards or re-enter details?
Yeah, exactly. So it's once the card is in there, that's basically it. The next appointment's going to be really quick. Some receptionists and that might choose to process payments after or in between each client. Some might be really time poor and they're a sole practitioner, and they may choose to just at the end of the day hit the batch process payment button, and it just goes through and dings everybody's processes their payments, and then you can fix up the ones that need fixing up and so on and so forth. So it's just time saver.
Absolutely. So let's put this in a real life scenario. Perhaps classes would be a good example where this would work really nicely. If you've got 6 attendees in a class that are regulars, you can have their details stored on their file, and at the end of the class, the practitioner presses one button, so one click, and those 6 cards will be debited all at once.
Correct. Yep.
You can see that that's been approved or declined by their bank essentially live.
Yep, exactly. And any payments that might fail, you'll get a notification immediately in real time. They can go through and fix up their payment information. Also, each of the clients' invoices are generated automatically and emailed off to these clients. So it's just, you no longer have to do manual invoicing and things like that too. Wow.
And and you mentioned some other integrations. I know this is always a hot button in clinic owner world, integration with let's talk Medicare specifically. You mentioned all the other third parties. Let's say they do charge a gap, right? The Medicare rebate might be $53. The clinic charges $70. Can Lyfe process that for the clinic?
Yes. So they would set up the service to whatever fee they wish, and at the end of the appointment, they process the payment, and whatever's over and above the gap will be charged to the credit card, where the rest is charged to Medicare.
Okay. And that's live, done on the spot. You can see that approval straight away.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. I feel like pausing as clinic owners look up to the sky and ponder the time that might save them with their admin team and failed payments and things like that. That's amazing.
I hope so.
What are some of the other elements of Lyfe that you think really resonate with clinic owners?
Well, we do notes as well. They can type in notes per appointment. They can upload files, things like that. We do have integration with a more robust note system that's in the pipeline that'll have body charts and things like that. But at the moment, it's a pipeline thing. But really, just giving the client some motivation to not, fail to show up for their appointment. That they know that a cancellation fee might apply. You might never uphold that, but
sure.
It's just, it takes that discussion of money out of the equation so you can focus on the health.
I love that, Dallas. Thanks for bringing that up, because I know clinic owners really struggle with the discussion of finance and dollars, and it becomes a friction point at the end of every consult. What's going through the patient's mind is, I've got to pay, and do I need to rebook again because then I'm going to have to pay again? It's time consuming for the practitioner, which time is money, and certainly not all healthcare is revolving around the finances. We do it because we want to help people. But there is a commercial reality to what we do. And if this means that, A, the practitioner can manage their diary and their time better, then that's a win. And B, if it means that the friction of paying is removed for the patient, they can keep their mind focused on their health and their health outcomes and what it is that they're trying to achieve. Does that sound about right?
Perfect. Yep.
I love it. And so Lyfe is applicable across different health professions, or is it just for the psychologists like your wife?
No, absolutely. So, we kind of, I guess in the early days built it towards them. But since then, we've had a lot of physios come and speak to us and say, look, if you build high caps into this, you've got our business. So physio seems to be really, I guess, a target that we're going after, and we're going after quite heavily. So yeah, and even fitness owners, personal trainers, things like that. So we built it with everyone in mind. We just wanted to automate the manual processes.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And that's really interesting insight. I think the payments alone is probably what will help you guys stand out and be really attractive to clinic owners. If clinic owners want to learn more about what you do, maybe have a bit of a nosy, a play around with the product, where should they go? And can you spell the URL for us?
Yeah, so it's BOOKLYFE, so booklife.com. And if they click on a button at the top right-hand side that says list your business, there'll be our kind of like our sales page where they can check it all out and sign up for a 30-day subscription-free trial.
Super stuff. Listeners, I would definitely encourage you to go and check it out and have a look around and see if it's the right fit for you. There are definitely some features in there that will be really attractive to you. So that is www.booklife.com. We will link all that up in the show notes with any of the other links and quotables that we've mentioned in this episode. And as always, why don't you share this with a friend, a business colleague that might be interested to hear about this? Share it out on socials or via email. Or even better, leave us a review or a rating on iTunes. That stuff really gets us juiced and excited to read those reviews. So listeners, we really appreciate you doing that for the Grow My Clinic podcast. Dallas, any words of wisdom or final goodbyes as we wrap up this episode?
I just wanted to say thank you to you and Ben and the team for, you guys have been great and very helpful in terms of our some of our reporting features in that were actually recommended by you guys. So thank you.
Great. Our pleasure. So that would be around the clinic excellence indicators of PVA, cancellations, DNAs. Is that right?
Yes.
I love it. So clinics, if you're familiar with some of the language of the Clinic Mastery ecosystem, Lyfe is set up just for that. Well, again, Dallas, thank you for joining us. Listeners, thank you for tuning in. And we look forward to bringing you another episode of the Grow My Clinic podcast really soon.
This is the Grow My Clinic podcast by Clinic Mastery, where we help you deliver amazing client experiences to grow your clinic.